Healing Out Loud, Episode 2, The Cost of Being the Strong One. Hello, and welcome back to Healing Out Loud. I'm Donna Blanchard. Today we're talking about something many women know all too well, the cost of being too strong. You probably know exactly who I'm talking about. It's me, I can tell you that. Maybe it's you too. The person who holds everything together, the one family member call when there's a problem, the one who keeps showing up even when life feels heavy, the one who somehow finds a way to keep going no matter what. And for a long time, I wore that role proudly. Being strong felt like a compliment. People admired it, they depended on it, and truthfully, there were seasons of my life when being strong was necessary. When I experienced parental abandonment, when I navigated betrayal, and when I struggled with an eating disorder, relationships became complicated and painful. Strength helped me survive. But what I eventually discovered was this. Sometimes the very thing that helps us survive can become the thing that keeps us stuck. Because somewhere along the way, many strong people begin to believe that they must carry everything alone. They stop asking for help. They stop expressing what they need. They become so focused on supporting others that they forget they need support too. And that's where the cost begins. The cost isn't always obvious. It can show up in emotional exhaustion, overwhelm, resentment, feeling invisible, feeling disconnected from yourself, or wondering why you're constantly tired even when you're doing all the right things. Sometimes it shows up as anxiety. You have difficulty relaxing, always feeling responsible for other people's emotions. And then you're feeling guilty when you try to put yourself first. Many strong people don't know how exhausted they are until they finally stop moving. Because when it's constantly busy helping everyone else, there's very little space left to hear your own needs. And that's not weakness. That's what happens when you've spent years carrying more than your share. In my personal experience, for much of my life, I became the strong one. Not because I wanted to, but because I felt like I had to. After experiencing parental abandonment as a child, I learned very early that I couldn't always rely on others emotionally. Somewhere along the way, I made the unconscious decision that if I wanted things handled, I would have to handle it myself. So I became independent, responsible, capable, the one who figured everything out, the one who carried more than my share, and those qualities served me in many ways. They also came at a cost. As I record this episode, I'm approaching 67 years old. And if I'm honest, I still find myself stepping into the role of the strong one. You think after years of therapy, personal growth, studying psychology, writing books, coaching others, and doing my own healing work that I would have mastered this by now. But healing doesn't mean old patterns never show up again. What I've noticed is when my children or grandchildren are struggling, something inside me immediately activates. I want to help, I want to protect, I want to make things right. I hate seeing the people I love hurting, especially when they're facing challenges that remind me of some of my painful experiences I lived through myself. And if I'm not careful, I can slip into trying to fix things, trying to control the outcomes, trying to offer advice and hope that they'll follow it, and avoid some of the pain that I experienced. From the outside, I'm probably looking strong, calm, capable, supportive, but the inside, sometimes my insides are tied in knots. I lie awake at night thinking, worrying, wondering if there's something more I should be doing. I feel the stress in my body, and sometimes I find myself crying because the emotions feel bigger than I expected. And it's not because I'm weak. It's because I care deeply, because I love deeply, because being the strong one doesn't mean you don't feel things. It often means you feel everything. Looking back now, I can see how years of carrying emotional burdens affected my mental and physical health. The stress showed up as anxiety, it showed up as emotional exhaustion, it showed up in my eating disorder, and it showed up as overthinking, hypervigilance, difficulty relaxing, difficulty sleeping. always scanning the next problem, always trying to make sure everyone else was okay. Most recently, I've noticed it showing up physically as well. Stress is settling into my body. With tension, I struggle with acid reflux, sleepless nights, moments when my mind simply won't shut off because I'm worrying about the people I love. And when we live that way long enough, it starts to feel normal. But normal doesn't always mean healthy. For many years, I thought being strong meant holding everything together. Now I'm learning the true strength always means allowing myself to feel what I feel, to acknowledge when something hurts, to admit when I'm worried, to recognize that I don't have to carry everyone's burdens for the people that I love. And the truth is, I don't always handle situations perfectly. There are times I say too much, times I offer advice when someone simply needed me to listen, times I've become emotionally invested in the outcomes that were never mine to control. And sometimes people feel that I'm not giving the support that they deserve, but what I'm really doing is giving them space to process their own thoughts and feelings. And I'm human, but what I try to do is lead with love. I try to be supportive. I try to be present. And when I get it wrong, I try to give myself the same grace that I offer to others. Because healing isn't about becoming perfect, it's about becoming aware. It's about recognizing our patterns with compassion instead of judgment. And it's about learning that sometimes the most loving things we can do is to stop carrying other people's journeys and simply walk beside them. One of the most important lessons I've learned is that strength and self sacrifice are not the same thing. Strength is healthy, strength helps us navigate challenges, and it allows us to keep moving forward when life gets difficult. But self sacrifice becomes unhealthy when we repeatedly abandon ourselves to take care of everyone else. When our needs always come last, when we believe everyone else is deserving compassion except us. When we give until there's nothing left. And many women listening today were praised for being responsible, helpful, independent, mature, but very few of us were taught how to receive, how to ask for help, how to say I'm struggling, I need support, I'm tired, this is too much. Instead, we learn to keep going, to smile, to manage, to survive. And while those skills may have protected us in the past, they can become exhausting if we never allow ourselves to put them down. If this resonates with you, I want to offer you a gentle reminder. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to prove your worth through exhaustion. You don't have to carry everything alone. You are allowed to have needs. You are allowed to ask for support. You are allowed to receive the same compassion you so freely give to others. And perhaps most importantly, you are allowed to be human, not perfect, not endlessly available, not strong, just human. Because healing isn't about becoming stronger and stronger until nothing affects us. Healing is learning when you carry something and when you set it down. Before we finish today, I'd like to leave you with a few reflection questions. When did you first learn that being strong was safer than being vulnerable? What was being the strong one cost you emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually? What are you carrying that no longer belongs solely to you? Take a few moments to sit with those questions. You may discover that some of the weight you've been carrying was never yours to carry alone. Thank you for spending the time with me today. In our next episode, we're going to talk about something many experience without even realizing it: walking on eggshells. Oh boy, that's a big one. Do you find yourself carefully choosing your words, avoiding difficult conversations, constantly monitoring other people's moods or reactions, overthinking that you said long after the conversation is over? Walking on eggshells often begins as a survival strategy, but over time it can leave us feeling anxious, exhausted, disconnected from ourselves. In episode 3, we'll explore where this pattern comes from, how it affects our relationships, and how we can begin creating emotional safety within ourselves. I hope you can join me. Episode 2 resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who's been carrying more than they should. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. You don't have to figure it all out. You just have to take the next steps that are right for you.